In 1498, Portuguese explorer Vasco da Gama found Calicut in South India. European explorers came to India for the spice trade. At the end of the 1600s, Queen Elizabeth began to let merchants make a trade company to trade with East India, India, and Southeast Asia. This became the East India Company. In the late 1620s, a factory was built in Bombay. It became the headquarters of the East India Company. India became divided into three presidencies. There is Calcutta, Bombay, and Madras. So the company began exchanging English gold and silver for Indian goods. They utilized these goods in China and began to make huge profits off of this and got voices within the trading industry. The company was corrupt, so there was one guy who was making the majority of the money and the rest of the guys weren't making as much. They became unhappy. So in other words, the company was corrupt. This started a decline of profit for them, and then so this made it so poor landowners had to begin paying larger taxes, and it was also demanded that they be paid in cash. So because the landowners couldn't afford this, they began going to moneylenders. When they couldn't pay back the money to the moneylenders took the poor landowners' land. So this got rid of the farming resources in India. In 1757, the military led by Robert Clive defeated the army of Nawab of Bengal. They were fighting because Robert Clive wanted the land and the people of Bengal did not want to give it up. So with this victory for Robert Clive, the company was transformed from an association into the rulers of India. This began the British Raj era. By 1765, the company had completely taken over Bengal. The British justified their cruel actions by saying that the Indians had to be civilized. They then began banning certain traditions like sati. They did this to assimilate the Indians and then therefore continuing to take over their country and controlling all of their trade. On May 10, 1857, the Indians began rebelling against the East India Company. This war lasted about a year, ending in June 1858. Essentially, this is what freed India from Britain, and because of this, this is one of the reasons why India is so corrupt today, because they don't really have much source of economy because Britain shut down all of their trade routes, especially like in cotton. They made it so that India couldn't trade their cotton, and so therefore India is now one of the poorest countries in the world.